Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is WireDogSec back with another video for you guys. Today's video, we are in TryHackMe. This is the SOC Level 1 learning path. This is the Digital Forensics and Incident Response module. This is the DFIR and Introduction room. Introductory room for the DFIR module, which is Digital Forensics and Incident Response. Now, hopefully you all are excited to learn something today. If you're not familiar with DFIR, well, we're going to dip our toes in it a little bit. And if you want to help support the channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know every time I post something to the channel. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Task 1, Introduction. Learning objectives. Security breaches and incidents happen despite these security teams trying their best to avoid them worldwide. The prudent approach in such a scenario is to prepare for the time when an incident will happen so that we are not caught off guard. Thus, digital forensics and incident response, or DFIR for short, has become a essential subject in defensive security. In this room, we will cover some basic concepts of DFIR and introduce rooms that expand on our knowledge of DFIR. The room will cover the following topics. So we got introduction to DFIR, some basic concepts used in DFIR field, the incident response processes used in the industry, and some of the tools used for DFIR. Okay, task number 2, the need for DFIR. What is DFIR? As already mentioned, DFIR stands for Digital Forensics and Incident Response. This field covers the collection of forensics artifacts from digital devices such as computers, media devices, and smartphones to investigate an incident. This field helps security professionals identify footprints left by an attacker when a security incident occurs, use them to determine the extent of compromise in an environment, and restore the environment to the state it was before the incident occurred. Now, this is the step above the SOC. So in the SOC, you're going to be working with various different alerts, cases of that nature. Then if things need to be escalated, you can call in the DFIR team or DFIR personnel to come in to do some more deep dive investigation, things of that nature. It takes a lot more effort in regards to DFIR, which we're going to find out here shortly, for the digital forensics part of it at least. DFIR helps security professionals in various ways, some of which are summarized below. Finding evidence of an attacker, activity in network, and sifting false alarms from actual incidents. Robustly removing the attacker so their foothold from the network no longer remains. Identifying the extent and time frame of a breach. Finding loopholes that led to the breach. Understanding attacker behavior to preemptively block further intrusion attempts by the attacker. Sharing information about the attacker with the community. So yeah, you'll have the SOC, then you have the incident response team, then DFIR. Sometimes the incident response team and SOC team will be one and the same if it's a small team or whatever. It depends on the organization, but usually DFIR people are, you may have maybe a handful, if that, at the organization that you're in, or more than likely it'll be outsourced to an external party that will do this on behalf of the organization. There's lots of vendors out there that do digital forensics work. As the name suggests, DFIR requires expertise in both digital forensics and incident response. Dividing these two fields this way, the following skill set is needed to become a DFIR professional in digital forensics. These professionals are experts in identifying forensic artifacts or evidence of human activity in digital devices. Incident response. Incident responders are experts in cybersecurity and leverage forensic information to identify the activity of interest from a security perspective. Right, so digital forensics is like more of a deep dive of things, and then its response is like you're going in, you're putting out those fires. So you're going in and triaging, containing the affected systems, what have you. And then if you need to go further than that, that you can tell that the system was obviously compromised, and then there may be some more things you need to do. You'll probably have to call in the digital forensics experts to come in so they can do their thing there. DFIR professionals know about digital forensics and cybersecurity and combine these domains to achieve their goals. Digital forensics and its response domains are often combined because they are highly interdependent. Its response leverages knowledge gained from digital forensics. Similarly, digital forensics takes its goals and scopes from the incident response process, and the IR process defines the extent of the forensic investigation. So there we go. See how they work together. Question time. What's DFIR stand for? We know it stands for Digital Forensics and Incident Response. All right. So I'm going to just copy and paste this below. DFIR requires expertise in two fields. One of the fields is digital forensics. What's the other field? Well, we know that's going to be incident response. That's the IR part of it. Task number 3, basic concepts of DFIR. So let's take a look here. Now that we have introduced DFIR and why it is needed, let's learn some basic concepts related to DFIR in this task. Artifacts. Artifacts are pieces of evidence that point to an activity performed on a system. When performing DFIR, artifacts are collected to support a hypothesis or claim about the attacker activity. For example, if we are to claim that an attacker used Windows registry keys to maintain persistence on a system, we can use the said registry key to support our claim. In this case, the mentioned registry key will be considered an artifact. Artifact collection is therefore an essential part of the DFIR process. Artifacts can be collected from the endpoint or the server's file system, memory, or network activity. There's various different places of forensics that you can get, network forensics, forensics off the system, et cetera, as they mentioned some of those up there. Most of the time, enterprise environments mainly consist of Windows and Linux operating systems. To learn more about the forensic artifacts in these operating systems, you can head to the Windows Forensics 1, Windows Forensics 2, or the Linux Forensics room, which we'll probably go through in this module. Windows systems are primarily used for endpoints and server use cases like Active Directory domain controllers or Microsoft Exchange email servers. Enterprises primarily use Linux systems in the capacity of servers hosting some service. For example, web servers or database servers. Evidence preservation. When performing DFIR, we must maintain the integrity of the evidence we're collecting. For this reason, certain best practices are established in the industry. We must note that any forensic analysis contaminates the evidence. Therefore, the evidence is first collected and right protected. Then a copy of the right protected evidence is used for analysis. That's correct. You'll take this to like a lab environment once you do like a clone or something off the hard drive or what have you. This process ensures that our original evidence is not contaminated and remains safe while analyzing. If our copy under investigation gets corrupted, we can always return and make a new copy from the evidence we have preserved. Chain of custody. Basically, this is just keeping a record, timestamps, names of that nature of the evidence. Okay. So another critical aspect of maintaining the integrity of evidence is chain of custody. When evidence is collected, it must be made sure that it's kept in secure custody. Any person not related to an investigation must not possess the evidence, or it will contaminate the chain of custody of the evidence. A contaminated chain of custody raises questions about the integrity of the data and weakens the case being built by adding unknown variables that can be or can't be solved. For example, suppose a hard drive image, while being transferred from the person who took the image to the person who will perform the analysis, gets in the hands of the person who is not qualified to handle such evidence. In that case, we can't be sure if he dealt with the evidence correctly, and hence it didn't contaminate the evidence with its activity. Order volatility. Digital evidence is often volatile. It can be lost forever if not captured in time. For example, data in a computer system's RAM, which is random access memory, will be lost when the computer shut down, since RAM keeps data um, as long as it remains powered on. Some sources are more volatile as compared to others. For example, a hard drive is persistent storage and maintains the data even if the power is lost. Therefore, hard drive is less volatile than RAM. While performing DFIR, it is vital to understand the order volatility of the different evidence sources to capture and preserve accordingly. In the example above, we will need to preserve RAM before preserving the hard drive, since we might lose data in RAM if we don't prioritize it. Timeline creation. Once we have collected the artifacts and maintained their integrity, we need to present them understandably to fully use the information contained in them. A timeline of events needs to be created for efficient and accurate analysis. This timeline of events puts all the activities in chronological order. This activity is called timeline creation. Timeline creation provides perspectives to the investigation and helps or collate information from various sources to create a story of how things happen. Now let's view the attached static site to practice timeline creation. Answer the first question. To do that, click on the View Site button in the top right corner of this task. Note that we have had an introduction to what DFIR is, why it's needed. Let's learn some basic concepts related to in this task. We're going to click that Site button up there. From amongst the RAM and the hard disk, which storage is more volatile? We know RAM is going to be more volatile than the hard disk. Complete the timeline creation exercise and attach the site. What's the flag you get after completion? So Let's dive over there and take a look at this view site and see what they have. Hey everybody, this is WireDogSec. Just a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Once you hit the notification bell, be sure to set to all notifications so you know every time I post to the channel, upload a video, all that good stuff. Let's continue to grow our glorious community here. We are in the cyber trenches. We're not just reporting on it. Be sure to check out my channel as well. I have tons of videos that you can see here, over 300 videos ready for you to check out and learn something from. Be sure to review my posts. I'm frequently posting new things to my channel here, including jobs and everything related to that. Also, I have tons of playlists here that you can review, make it more convenient for you. Anyway, happy defending, happy hacking, enjoy the video. Instructions. We have observed a malicious alert on our SIM dashboard. It seems like someone was downloading a malicious package. Click on the alert below to add it to your timeline spreadsheet. Okay, let's take a look here. And the first alert says May 24th, 2022. Here's the source IP. It says try to download Cobalt Strike from this destination IP. The connection was blocked. So let's see here. Since we identified an IP address in the alert, we filtered all the traffic related to that IP address. In the SIM dashboard, we find the malicious IP address connected through an open SSH port in these filtered results. Click to add this result to our spreadsheet. Drag the events in the spreadsheet to bring them in ascending order of time. All right, so we need to go ahead and add this to our spreadsheet. Okay, so incoming SSH connection from this IP, 422, okay. And, okay, there it is down there. And now we need to, I guess, yeah, it says organize these. So let's move this one up here. There we go. Whoa, all right, something else happened. Now we check the syslog for the compromised host to see what activity was performed by the attacker. That can be of help. Click on the successful login attempt event to add it to the spreadsheet. All right, so all these failed ones, and then here's the last successful one. Add it to our spreadsheet down there. We check the syslog to find other interesting artifacts from the logs. Okay, so application critical events. John Doe executed file name, malicious file, the process malicious file, tried to connect to this IP address. Interesting there. Okay. So clicked on that. It says order all the events in your attack timeline spreadsheet. Okay. So let's go ahead and order them. We got this second one here. All right. Well, that was quick. Congratulations, you successfully created an incident timeline. I wanted to read what it said there and to go through it. I'm not sure if it, let's just go back. Does it? No. Well, that's kind of annoying. Task number 4, DFIR tools. So let's see what they're talking about here. Security Entry has built various exciting tools to help with the DFIR process. These tools help save valuable time and enhance the capabilities of security professionals. Let's learn about some of the tools. Here, you can check out the rooms on these tools, TryHackMe, to learn more about them. Eric Zimmerman's tools, these are pretty well known out there in the DFIR space. It says Eric Zimmerman is a security researcher who has written a few tools to help perform forensic analysis on the Windows platform. These tools help the registry file system timeline and many other analyses. To learn more about these tools, check out the Windows Forensics 1 and Windows Forensics 2 rooms, where these tools are discussed concerning the different artifacts found in the Windows operating system. KAPE stands for Control Artifact Parser and Extractor. Another beneficial tool by Eric Zimmerman. This tool automates the collection and parsing of forensic artifacts and can help create timeline events. You can check out the KAPE room to learn more about KAPE. Autopsy is an open source forensic platform that allows or that helps analyze data from digital media like mobile devices, hard drives, and mobile devices. Various plugins for Autopsy speed up the forensic process and extract and present valuable information from raw data sources. TryHackMe's Autopsy room can help if you want to learn more about it. Volatility is a tool that helps perform memory analysis for memory captures from both Windows and Linux operating systems. It is a powerful tool that can help extract valuable information from the memory of a machine under investigation. You can learn more about it in the Volatility room. Redline is an instant response tool developed and freely distributed by FireEye. This tool can gather forensic data from a system and help with collected forensic information. You can learn about Redline, this Redline room, Velociraptor, another well-known tool out there. Advanced endpoint monitoring forensics and response platform. It is open source but very powerful. TryHackMe has created a Velociraptor room for you to learn more about it. All these tools are helpful while performing DFIR. It is essential to understand the process followed to achieve our goals. The next task will focus on incident response process and how we can leverage digital forensics in that process. Check out the rooms related to different tools mentioned. All right, so let's get at that. A plethora of tools that we can use in this industry for digital forensics and incident response. Okay, Eric Zimmerman's tools, KAPE, Autopsy, Volatility, Redline, and Velociraptor. Go ahead and check my channel out, see if I have any rooms that I've done in regards to these tools. See if I have any videos on these. I'm pretty sure I've done volatility rooms before, but we're done here. And this is just a scratch of the surface. Okay, as I said, we're going to get into these Windows forensics rooms, Linux forensic rooms, and play around with these tools. Okay, if you don't want to wait, you can go ahead and do some Googling. You can use ChatGPT or whatever AI tool you want to use to learn more about these tools. Task number 5, the incident response process. And security operations, the prominent use of digital forensics is to perform incident response. We will learn about the incident response process and observe how digital forensics helps in the IR process in this task. Different organizations have published standardized methods to perform incident response. NIST has defined a process in their SP 861 Incident Handling Guide, which has the following steps: preparation, detection and analysis, containment, eradication, recovery, post-incident activity. I believe NIST just updated this, so now it's a little bit different than what they've been doing. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested. Actually, I may have it pulled up here. Yeah, revision 3, April 2025, and it's a little bit different, as you can see there. All right, maybe I'll include this link to this in the description box. Let's flip back over here. SANS is another well-known vendor out there, organization out there that has this as well. Incident Handler's Handbook identifies these steps here: preparation, identification, containment, eradication, recovery, and lessons learned. You see, it has less steps than the NIST used to have, but I mean, use what works best for your organization. Okay, your organization may use one or the other. It may have taken items from either of these particular documents and then applied to their organization. So you're going to use what works best for your organization. Okay, it might differ based on whatever organization you're at. The steps defined by SANS are often summarized as the acronym um, PICERL, whatever, making them easy to remember. We can see that the steps specified by SANS and NIST are identical. While NIST combines containment, eradication, and recovery, SANS separates them into different steps. Post-incident activity and lessons learned can be comparable, while identification and detection analysis have the same implications. Now that we understand that the two processes are similar, let's learn briefly what the different steps mean. We explain the PICERL steps as they are easier to remember by the acronym, but as described above, they are identical to the steps defined by NIST. At preparation before an incident happens, preparation needs to be done so that everyone is ready in case of an incident. Preparation includes having the required people, processes, and technologies to prevent and respond to incidents. Very important here. This comes down to proper asset inventory when it comes to software, hardware inventory. You're going to need to know who you need to contact in regards to what systems, what applications, who are those owners of those particular assets, right? Identification. An incident is identified through some indicators in the identification phase. These indicators are then analyzed for false positives, documented and communicated to relevant stakeholders. Number 3, containment. In this phase, the incident is contained and efforts are made to limit its effects. Eradication. Next, the threat is eradicated from the network. It has to be ensured that a proper forensic analysis is performed and the threat is effectively contained for eradication. Recovery. Once the threat is removed from the network, the services that had been disrupted or brought back as they were before the incident happened. Lessons learned. Finally, a review of the incident is performed. The incident is documented and the steps are taken based on the findings from the incident to make sure that the team is better prepared next time incident occurs. Important here, eradication. Like a lot of times, I have to come across that maybe you'll need to provide some kind of letter of attestation that says, "Hey, we're all clear. We've had our systems examined by a third party, digital forensics vendor, and said that, hey, yeah, your systems are now clear. The attacker is out of your environment. We cleaned up all the malware, et cetera, et cetera." So sometimes you may need that in order to continue business. Maybe your customers will need that in order to continue business to restore the services and whatnot. So take that into consideration as you're going through this process here. And one important thing about lessons learned, okay, don't just have this document. I've seen various different places where they just document these items and then there's no follow up on them. Like, what's the point of documenting this stuff? You're not going to follow up on it. It doesn't make any sense. And then next thing, you have a similar incident down the road and that could have been prevented. But so make sure you're taking close attention, make sure you're paying close attention to all these steps here and you're actually carrying them out to the best of your ability. Um, Question time. At what stage of the IR process are disrupted services brought back online as they were before the event? Well, we know that's going to be the recovery phase, the recovery step. At what stage of the IR process is the threat evicted from the network after performing the forensic analysis? That's going to be eradication. Okay, so we're going to copy and paste this down because I'm lazy. What is the NIST equivalent of the step called lessons learned in the SANS process? That was the post something, wasn't it? Yeah, post incident activity. But like I said, it may differ by whatever organization you work for. Okay. Test number 6, we're going to wrap it up. Conclusion. That was all for this room. Let's reiterate what we learned here. We learned about DFIR and where it is used. We learned why we need to perform a DFIR. We learned the basic concepts like chain of custody, evidence preservation, and order volatility. Learned about some of the tools used in industry like Easy Tools, KAPE, Autopsy, etc. The PICERL process for instant response. Now we can move on to the next rooms. This module about DFIR. Let us know what you think about this room in our Discord or Twitter. See you around. So we are done with this room. A lot of good information in here. I'm pretty sure there's other DFIR related introductory rooms inside of TryHackMe. I know I've done a similar one before, maybe during those Advent of Cyber events or whatever. But this is a pretty good room. Give you that initial overview of the DFIR, what it consists of, what you'll be encountering when you're doing DFIR, all that good stuff. A lot of y'all will probably be blue teamers if you're not a blue teamer already. So you're going to be coming across a lot of this stuff in your career most likely. And this is exciting. People just think about the hacking stuff, breaking into systems and doing all that stuff. But this is exciting as well. This is an adrenaline rush dealing with these particular incidents that come in. You have to come in, put out, not only do you have to go in, do instant response, which you're putting out the fire, triaging the ongoing event that's going on. Okay. After that, then you may have to move over to DFIR or contact your DFIR or your digital forensics people, which is sometimes, from my experience, it's going to be a outside party that you're going to bring in to perform that digital forensics, or you're going to send them like an image of whatever VM or system, what have you. You're going to send it over to them. And they're going to do their digital forensics and analysis over that particular image. Okay. Also can have internal people that can do this as well. It just depends on the organization. But we're done. I'm done yapping. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. If you want to support the channel, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I post to the channel. Be sure to check the description area so that you can find some additional resources if I have them posted there. Thank you for your continual support. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.